You're
Doc.
Yo.
Hey, what's up?
Yo.
What's up, Eugene? Hey, y'all. Welcome back to Fake Deep Thinking. Sorry I missed y'all last week. Had a little bit of a COVID scare with John. He's doing great. Looks great. Damn, bro.
just wanted to get that demonetization out the way real quick.
Minus some N-words out, huh?
Yeah, nigga.
This guy.
I got it back.
Yeah, we got it back. But John's back and healthy. I don't think he really had COVID. I think it was just a false positive, right?
Man,
Or you don't really know?
Dude, I was fine all week. And I tested negative the very next time. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice. Yeah, we just played it
that's
safe.
Weird. You might have had one of the the cases that don't have any symptoms. Maybe.
Oh, asymptomatic?
Yeah.
It's possible.
Man,
They basically evacuated the whole building. But it
really?
wasn't because of me. Yeah.
Oh,
It
okay.
was,
Yeah, because you got it while at work, correct?
pretty sure.
Yeah. Yeah, man, when I just remember when I got COVID, it was one night of, I don't call it pure hell, but man, I was suffering.
Oh, really?
I was just in my bed, just miserable. And then the next day, boom, better. I wasn't 100%, but
if you didn't have that one day where you literally just didn't function,
yeah.
then you probably didn't get it. At least
I
not
worked
to
pretty much every day.
same
And
level.
then the day we all got sent home, everybody I was fine. I ran a mile that morning.
Nice. And also, sorry about not posting much content last week. Ian and I have been battling these floors this past two and a half weeks.
Socks are nice.
And thank you, sir. Appreciate you. I think you got these socks for Christmas.
It's possible.
Yeah. But we've been battling these floors. So last week, we finished around 9 or 10 o'clock every day. And by that time, I was just tired and exhausted. I'm not even going to lie to you, partly lazy.
Man, this nigga don't owe y'all no explanation. Y'all get it when y'all get it. You hear me?
Yeah,
we standing on that. Word to my mother.
But, I posted the episode yesterday. It is up. Please share, subscribe, like, and all that stuff to that video. Make sure we get more people in here discussions. So, real quick before we start, I want to try, if y'all are up to, maybe we can talk about this afterwards or some other time, but doing what we did with Ethan, but kind of towards the end, and just have a conversation with everyone who's in the chat so we can actually involve them more.
I love that.
So, yeah, at the end, maybe cut the conversation shorter.
15 minutes.
A lot sometimes, exactly, where we get them in, ask them questions, us questions about the topic, just have a conversation.
No, you're right. I like that. It actually might be end up being our strongest segment.
Right?
That's an excellent idea.
Because people and their takes are always funny.
And people like interaction.
Yeah.
I mean.
So let's get into the first topic. So we did talk about this last time.
Wait, hold on. You popping it off this way?
Yeah.
Okay.
With the heat, let's get into it.
Let's get into it.
What other one you want to talk about?
I just got questions. I don't want to see
Exactly.
everybody answers.
Right?
Let's go.
You got questions, so let's get
Eat
into
first,
it.
bro.
So
Fire.
we talked about this last time, I think 2 weeks ago. We're going to talk about it again because Roe v. Wade has officially been reversed by the Supreme Court. I think it was a 6-3 vote. And yeah, so you said I have some questions. So what question you want to pop it off with?
Okay. Well, I actually
because you didn't get a chance to talk about it last
at
time.
all. So my questions is, when does you told me it was heartbeat for you. That was your opinion. But when is for you,
for what?
Doc? When is it okay? I guess you said, as soon as there's a heartbeat, that's when you believe
okay, to
abortion
not
is
do an
immoral.
abortion or to do abortion.
To abort.
Okay.
You said so. As soon as there's a heartbeat for you, it's that's when you believe it's
Stop.
immoral.
It's okay. It's wrong.
What about you, Doc? I mean, you don't believe it's immoral, correct?
Well, I mean, I think for me at the 2 month or 3 month period, it's immoral. Because at that point it's dude, you're literally you're gonna see half a baby come out or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's an issue. Yeah,
It's just tiny.
I had honestly never really given it thought to that level as to what point to me is it legit, you know what I mean, enough to feel I guess bad for. The heartbeat was a good idea. Once I learned the law, I was oh, that's actually a decent way to think about it. And I would kind of put it a little bit past that, but there's a lot of development too. I think once the general parts of the anatomy, and I have no idea what trimester that is. Just before the general anatomy of it's already been made, I think that's when it needs to get aborted if it's going to be. But once the full anatomy is there, I don't think it's
How?
It's moral. I wouldn't want to do it.
Do y'all know how long it takes? What is the legal limit Like as far as like when's the latest you can abort a child?
It
Depends on the state.
Yeah, it depends on the state. Like some states, they go as far as 9 months.
No
Really?
way.
Yeah. Some
No
states are.
way.
That's
That's like a.
questions.
That's
9
like
months
a
is wild, what
full-
you're saying.
Exactly. That's why some people are so against this because
Yeah, I would see. I would never. I would
9
never
months is
condone a 9-month.
9 months is
Abortion,
wild. Like
like,
you walking
no,
around with a
dude.
big ass stomach.
Yeah.
It's wild.
Yeah,
What
like-
happened? No, that's wild. I ain't gonna lie. That's wild. That's just
Because
my
I
opinion.
mean, the most
That's
I'd
wild.
ever heard was like 15 weeks, and
Okay.
I think that's what some of the more liberal states have. And
I didn't say abortion happened at 9 months. I said some states they allow it. I'm not sure if a
Oh.
9-month abortion actually happened, but they do
Allow
allow
it up until.
But for me
well,
personally, the possibility
they-
of them allowing that is still a problem for me. I admit that. For me personally, the fact that that's even an option, I think that's weird.
Okay. Well,
so
when it,
from the conversations I'd had, 6 weeks from what I was told was not enough time, or the 3 weeks of like not 6 weeks, the 3 weeks of the that the Texas rule had.
I thought
I
it
was
was
told that's not
4
enough
weeks. Is
time.
it 3 weeks?
I think it's 3.
I mean, 4. I mean, pulling hairs at that
Yeah,
point.
and I remember the person I was talking to, she told me she's like that's not enough time. Like sometimes like you go a couple weeks even without knowing you had a baby. Like you might even pass the 3rd week, or before you finally like skip a period and stuff like
Pause.
that. And at that point, like you can't do that.
Can I pause you real quick and respond to that?
Go for it.
The reason why I kind of have an issue with that is because, well, first let me ask this question before I lead into that. Is the reason why abortion, when it first became, I don't want to say a thing, but at least acceptable society, people, when you ask people pro-life, pro-choice, I think majority of people usually say pro-choice, but up to a certain point. That's how I preface this conversation with when does it become immoral for you.
Mm-hmm.
So people used to have, like, the popular phrase was safe, legal, and rare. But abortion has become to a point where it's not exactly rare because some people use abortion as a potential option when it comes to a plan B. Because I remember one of your questions in regard to plan B. So that's their new plan B. That's why I kind of I want to know more specifically, but I have an issue with, coming from a guy, with women using that's not enough time excuse, because that tells me you're using it as a backup plan. Whereas women who have been, and they use this argument, either raped or the incest thing or all this other stuff, you know right then and there that you should go to a hospital and probably get something done.
When you say they're using it as a plan B, are you saying they're having, and it's not just the women, the men and the women are having sex knowing that, okay, in case it does happen, I can use that? Or
Maybe.
are you saying they're just freely? Because the reason I'm asking you to specify that is because
I forgot what the
I
data
believe
is
that's
called. It's like a Google. I forgot what the name. It's a weird name, but there's a stat that they collected all the data from Planned Parenthood and somewhere else, and they found out that only 5% total of rapes, incest, and complications was around 5% of all abortions,
No, I
and
agree.
90% was elective. So that
No,
would
I
tell
agree with
me
that, but elective-
most abortions are from just
I'm saying
like,
generalize.
I don't want this. Let me just go do this.
See,
Like,
I can't general. The reason why I'm saying that is the way that I think talking about grape and incest and molestation is an extreme when
Fair.
it comes to it.
I completely agree,
believe
honestly.
the opposite end too, as far as people just going out and saying, "Oh, well, this is my plan B." I believe that's an extreme. Personally, that's my opinion.
but I think that's more
reasonable
than the
Yes, but I also
personally.
think it's an extreme. So, like,
Fair.
I
I
think
mean-
most people lie somewhere in between the two.
What's the in between then? Because that's what
I don't know.
understand.
I'm just saying, like,
I'm
I don't think
thinking
people are
in-between
knowingly.
The in between would be somebody who like intentionally did something, and maybe they took the measures to have preventatives,
Mhm.
but then it still happened, and then they're like, "Fuck, I can't do this right now in my life."
So like
And
the
then
condom broke or something.
Yeah,
like
condom
that.
break.
Yeah.
Your birth control failed.
Yeah.
It's just I think those are us also a smaller percentage too. To your point, but I just feel like
But I still think the answer is to get an abortion is wild to me. I'm sorry, personally, just that your solution to that, like,
so. Then to the point before. So how do you feel about Plan Bs? Do you feel you don't categorize Plan Bs like so? Is the question the prevention of life, or is the question this life exists? Like what is the when you're
I don't understand.
is the problem that there doesn't need to be the prevention of life, the situation that would create life happening, or is the problem that it's already happened and so we identify this thing as a life. If you get what I'm saying, like, because technically speaking, if we were trying to prevent we shouldn't be having sex. Essentially, if we're single, we shouldn't be having sex. You should save it for marriage, because morally, you're supposed to save it for marriage. You're supposed to save it to when you're in a committed relationship. So everything to me after that is a scale of morality as far as what you're okay with and what you're not okay with. Because we're already, if we want to talk about it religiously or whatever, we're already in the sin. So it's just how deep in are we going to get? And to my point before, a sin is a sin is a sin is a sin.
Well, technically speaking, in that regard, there's two conversations. There's the religious conversation, which is what you just said, which was wait till marriage. Like, if that is more, I would argue and honestly agree with that is a more religious, depending on the religion perspective. If you want to take religion out of it,
which I do,
I think the perspective more would be towards, I think, a biological, like, instinctual thing. And instinctually, if you break it down, like, men want to sleep with as many women as they can, and women want the best candidate, like there's like the strongest whatever to break it down. So how that sexual dynamic works, I mean, it comes down to how just the people are at the time. And right now, how we are at the time is men want to be sleeping around and women want to be sleeping around too. And that's what's going on. Whether or not you think that's a good or bad thing is where the conversation is, and the repercussions of all that. That's where I think all this is stemming from.
I don't think we are, but I think in general the conversation is fake, because we cannot pretend that the pro-lifers are religious.
Aren't or are?
Aren't religious, sorry.
Okay.
Like, and we also can't pretend.
Some of them are, some of them aren't, but I think the majority
are.
I would
the same way the majority of the other party, I'm not saying it's religious, but
I mean,
the majority
based
of the
off
other party.
protesters, they don't look like they're religious.
But even most of the
points.
people, like
I
was watching the BET Awards the other day, like, women are speaking out about this. Like, women really want, like, are fighting hard for this. So
the pro-life supporters who are protesting against them were mainly women.
But a lot of the women that are fighting for it would consider themselves religious.
Fair.
And so, like, to me, it's weird to have the conversation, but then take out the important part, which is what leads to your bias. So, like, this law, and first off, it's not illegal to have an abortion, like Gene said. Basically it went from federal to state, just to simplify it, which I'm okay with the state making the decisions on its own, like what it is. But we're not going to act like the states or whatever the decisions aren't based around religion. You know what I'm saying? And so when the conversation becomes religious,
that's why the conversation be nuanced. Because if it was based off religion, then it would be flat out
but that's
illegal.
Pretending to me. That's what I'm saying. To say that and I'm just talking about the pro-life, which, we know where I stand, but, like, I'm gonna get to them. But the pro-life, their argument is that it's a life and you protect a life and the laws and the murder.
Yeah.
But that's based off religion. They're arguing it technically.
They're arguing it from a religious perspective, not from a.
But they're not. Their words aren't religious. They're saying they're not arguing it from a religious
perspective.
Exactly. But the whole reason you feel the way you do is because of a religious reason.
Yeah.
Exactly. So my question to that religious group,
because it's a moral compass, and like you said, preface before, this
is
speaking a moral conversation.
So then why does the conversation start there for that religious group?
It's a moral compass, and I would agree to that. For me, it's a moral compass. Some people compass is how they do that is different.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I would agree for them and for me too. The moral compass is my religion, my faith.
Correct. So for that group, why would they, knowing that the sin started prior?
There's more to that, to be honest with you. I'm not just blind.
Yeah. Gene's not. Yeah. Anyway, but if the sin starts back there, sin gets no deeper as you travel on among it. So, like, it's just what it is. So for me, and it's weird because I always do this thing where I guess my thing is I dislike the groups of people that I always hear having the conversations. Not dislike them, but personally, but like
to that.
There's almost a hypocrisy to everybody's argument.
I agree.
It's weird to me because you're saying, oh, you're arguing it because of murder, but you're really not like.
Because like Doc pointed out to me last time, like in the Christian doctrine, like you feel this way about abortion, but then at this flip side, people are out here about war.
Yeah, you go to war.
Free sex. They participate in the hookup culture, but they're Christian or whatnot. Like, and so there's hypocrisies everywhere. I get it.
So now for me, it's like, for that group to feel so passionately about it, that's where I guess it is. For that group to feel so passionately about it is hypocritical to me. That doesn't speak on whether abortion is wrong or right. It's just, I'm looking at the person's mouth that I'm hearing it from, those groups that I'm hearing it from. And then on the other end, the conversation on the abortion end, the conversation needs to be, and there needs to be some type of way that we can converse about it as men, as like welcoming men into the conversation. And I'm not saying, because a lot of the times I hear, men shouldn't have an opinion about a woman's body or anything like that. But that's also kind of disingenuous too, because
Super disingenuous.
like if you're talking about like Instagram, if you relate it to anything else, then even though it may be frowned upon, men's opinions on the body are more acceptable. Like women say they're getting BBLs, they're doing all these things to appease men. You know what I'm saying? Now they're saying it's for themselves, but that's cap. It's to appeal to whoever you want to appeal to. You know what I'm saying? So on that end,
there's a target audience. What that target audience is,
boom. So on that end, then if it takes two to tango, there should be a conversation had with whoever the father is. But my problem
the other
with
half of that child.
Exactly. But my problem with that is you can't know who the father is while it's in the womb, can you?
Yeah, you can. DNA.
You can test the DNA while it's in the womb?
For sure. It has its own unique DNA. And I mean, it's probably super invasive. I don't know the processes, but you can do it.
Because most of the time I always see it done after.
There's certain things you can do. They don't recommend it because I don't know if it's gotten better. I think when I heard about this was back in 2016 when I was in school. There is a procedure. You can definitely do the DNA test there, but that's not what that test is for. So specifically DNA test, I don't know if you can do it earlier or later, but the specific test is invasive because they stick a needle in there and they try to get some kind of the amniotic fluid or whatever else they need to do some kind of test. Mm-hmm. Obviously, when you do all that, you can do more to get DNA tests, but it's risky because you got to not hit the baby.
Got you. So it's just smarter to wait.
My issue with that would be the time.
Less risk, I guess.
That's what I'm talking about with the time.
If you're in a state where you're restricted on the weeks that you have, then getting that test and having it come back and then having it resolved with the person and all that stuff, if you're like planning on an abortion or even like deciding what you can and can't do, like it makes it a little bit more difficult.
And it's an extreme because a guy could trap a woman that way as well.
Yeah.
A guy could definitely trap a woman that way.
My issue too with it though is that like I feel like with the turning over, it's like cool they did what they did. I understand the technicality of it kind of deferring back over to the states, and I do actually believe that a lot of the states are majority led by religious views or maybe like religious appointed leaders who kind of
I think that's more accurate,
ran on religious fronts.
Yes.
And so I think that's going to definitely influence like the particular states, especially like the Bible Belt and stuff like that.
It's representation, but I'm sorry, go on.
But the thing about it though is like some of those states have trigger laws that are going into effect in like the next 28 days.
Yep.
And for some of those states, it's completely outlawed.
Yep.
Like there is no like 3-week period or anything like that. It's just like you cannot do it.
I think Arizona's
I'm sure there's like some like states where it's just like rape maybe. I actually don't know what individual states have for laws. Texas for sure, I know it's outlawed. I don't know if there's an exception for rape or incest.
If they're keeping the same HARP bill that's in place right now, then I think it will.
Then they're just going to admit that like the 3-week grace period. No, there is no grace period.
How do y'all feel about
happening?
Yeah, that sounds.
How do y'all feel about the companies covering the travel expenses?
Are they going to help pay for maternity leave also for the people who want their babies?
Maternity leave is paid by the government.
Most
it's paid by the federal.
Would do that. I'm not too sure about that, but like the weird thing I have heard that's hearsay
is maternity leave paid by the government.
No, it's paid by the company.
Yeah, it's paid by the company.
Oh, okay.
If they're doing that, then I have no problem with them paying for the abortions.
Okay.
If they're
my issue would be those like strict on abortion states passing legislature that punishes you for leaving that state to go get the procedure done. At that point, it's just like wow, like now you're taking it and you're running it.
That exists.
I think some places have talked about something like that,
Kentucky
which I
supposedly
personally disagree with completely.
Running, stuff like that, where like if you leave, Kentucky somehow will find a way to prosecute you for having gotten the procedure done in a different place.
That's a little wild to me.
And then there's other states too that are like now kind of this is all stuff politicians are spewing out of their mouths, mind you. So I don't know if anything is
It's all
actually set in
reactionary, I
stone.
guess you could
Yeah.
say.
But one of the politicians that I saw, I think, was for a northeastern liberal state. I want to say like either New York or New Jersey or something like that. Um, but they were saying that they were going to try to become a sanctuary state for people to come in and have legislature that would actually combat, like, other state legislature and laws, so that they could stay and have an abortion there and be perfectly fine and be provided for and stuff like
Sure.
that. So that's a whole other conflict that it's going to increase. My thing is with the the overturning of this responsibility, like since it's already gone through, and if you live in a state where it happens to happen, I think now there needs to be more emphasis on preventatives then, because it's kind of giving
That's what
agency,
I'm
and that's where like
saying.
everybody
that.
has to take basically control of that. And so like
Let's
I've already
also
know
fund
men
our
that are getting,
orphans.
well, like I already know men that are getting vasectomies and stuff like that.
That's
'Cause
wild.
it's just like,
Go for
why
it, but
though?
that's
Because
wild.
it's like a decision that you're like, oh, I really don't want to do that, or I can't have that happen in my life right now, or I'm already in a position where like
From my
if I
limited
have a
understanding, vasectomies aren't 100% when it comes to
Correct.
reattachment. So that's why it's like that. I understand what you're saying. I get the mentality, but I don't think the risk outweighs the reward, if that makes sense. I'm gonna get a vasectomy so I can have unrisked when it comes to getting a child sex. That's a crazy risk when it comes to not
Well,
having one in the
that
future
is-
if you want one. Like
that is a
that's just
decision
different.
that you can make though. Like yeah, like
Fair.
you can
Yeah,
definitely do
definitely.
it to just indulge in your instincts.
Yep.
The
Definitely.
other thing, like even a woman can do the same thing. But my thing is like
Tube
there's
side,
also
yep.
people that are like, I can't just be sleeping with my wife and have another child. Like we can't afford it. So I'm going to take this initiative and just fucking make sure it never even happens.
I'm okay with that over an abortion, honestly.
But that's what I'm saying. Like there's also like the decision where now like, and even with male
So my question to you, I get what
birth
you're
control,
saying.
like,
How do you think
would
this should
you
be done
take
then?
male birth control? Like, do you think those states that are hyper religious would accept male birth control?
I don't. Well, real quick.
I get what you're asking.
Maybe if they accept female birth control, then they should accept male birth control. If they don't, then that's hypocritical. But my question, real quick for you, not to try to like off track this, but
Go for it.
do y'all think the solution should be government, federal? Like are you trying to
Never.
insinuate that the government should fund these things or something like that, or help? Like I'm a
Well,
little
as far
confused.
as okay,
Because that's I think another issue.
a
I
lot
think I
of
have
money
issue
was
with
going
this
to
is
Planned Parenthood from the federal government, right?
Exactly.
Okay, so
that
my
the government
question
was
is
funding this. That's an issue.
what-
Part of for
see,
me also. I admit.
my problem when it comes to stuff like that. What I always say, team, why now?
When then?
No.
When?
Why now do we care about the federal government spending money where it shouldn't? This is the thing.
So the question is not why now, it's why this.
Why this? There you go. Sorry, it's not like it all. I don't think this. If millions and millions of dollars are going to Planned Parenthood, I will stand on this. If millions and millions of dollars are going into
Because it
Planned
hits more
Parenthood,
home, obviously. That's why. Because all these other spending, for example, with Biden sending it to Ukraine, doesn't hit home for most Americans.
I think it should
But
fund itself. I don't think
the
it should be
abortion thing
government
hits
funded.
more home.
Correct. I don't think the government should be funding abortions if that's what's going on. I think that can be privatized or whatever it is.
So I'm okay with
yeah,
that.
that's fine.
Charities and all that
as
stuff,
long
that
as
stuff, or
if they have their
movements, yeah.
option, that's cool. But to say like that's why my problem is it's not necessarily that you're pro-life, which I am, but well, I guess I'm not even that no more. I guess I'm more leaning towards I just don't want to be with them.
Time
I
out.
just don't want to be with them.
You brought it back up to me. I wanted to address this because you made a good point, which was that the conversations being had are two extremes. Because at one point, like I prefaced before, which was it used to be safe, legal, and rare. The conversation used to be people in the middle saying, abortion's bad, but up to certain points, but we need to accommodate for this X, Y, and Z, so how do we go about this? And then it got to a point from having these civil, rational, logical conversations, it's gotten to these extreme emotional conversations about religious people. Outright illegal ban, you're convicted of murder, you can't even go to another state. Like that's extreme.
To me is wild.
And then we got people on the other side of the conversation saying
10 babies.
I'm pro-abortion. One woman out here preaching how many abortions she's had. It's like insane. A pregnant woman literally written on her stomach, "This is not a human yet." Wild to me. wild to me.
The other see that, dude.
Yeah, I was about to say, you've been on the internet for real. That's wild.
Yeah, bro, you go into
some crazy shit.
Part of my Twitter is the religious side of Twitter, and let's say that the Christian girls have been going insane right now.
Got you.
Because they've been protesting against the stuff. Some of them have been there actually protesting.
Have premarital sex?
No idea.
I don't know. It's almost like I'm a firm believer on like don't throw stones in the glass house. I guess that's just what it is for me. And so it's like I get it.
But it comes back to the conversation about immorality. I understand.
Wow.
Yeah, thank you, Ian. Not yet a human.
I don't know about that one.
Put it in the chat so everyone else can see it. But it goes to the discussion right now is being had by two sides that shouldn't be having the discussion.
Correct. Absolutely.
And that's why I should go back to the states, because if we try to do it federally, the wrong people are having the discussion that we're not going to please everybody.
So this
going back to the states, I thought, in my opinion,
is the argument that it should be federally protected?
Yes.
Okay.
They think it's a constitutional right. I don't know if it's a lot, but at the very least, the people at least protesting have been saying, my right. You cannot go against my right. We're not going to watch her get interviewed. Okay, you just got a close-up. Okay, as I say, we're not about to watch something.
Is that a real stomach?
Yeah.
I hope it's a real
stomach. That is a very real human being, bro, and that is a very real stomach. I don't know if that's
like a legit stomach. It looks like a fake stomach.
I hope it's fake, because it'll make me feel a little bit better that a pregnant woman's not going out doing this. Like, first off, you're pregnant. Well, you shouldn't be out there. Come on now.
Yeah, that's gonna cause some trauma if the baby gets born and they see that picture later. Weird.
But that's my point. We've got the conversation's gotten so out of hand that that people are viewed as hypocrites. And I don't necessarily disagree. I mean, I get it. People who try to do that are usually hypocrites. Like,
correct.
Yeah, I get it. And the other side, though, are people who this may be an extreme way of looking at it. So correct me if this is wrong of me how I view it. The other side compared to that is people who have no sense of morals. And if they do have sense of morals, they're fucked up.
No, see, that's where I disagree with you.
Okay.
Because you're saying they have no sense of morals based off one issue.
No.
You're lumping a group then. Because
fair.
I'm telling you,
I can acknowledge that.
There's a lot of people who are arguing pro-choice that aren't in the LGBT, that aren't like.
I've seen them. I've watched them.
You know what I'm saying? So I can't lump those people in with no morals. They just have different morals, and that's where my problem is now.
Hypocritical of me being martyred because I
same. That's where I'm understanding. Like, I have to not shut up, but like I can't say that sin is worse than anything I want.
We sit on the sidelines and watch the conversation be had. And I think the reason we're having this conversation now amongst us is just because of the simple fact that the conversation has gotten so out of hand that we have our own conversations now, if that makes sense.
Correct.
Because usually these type of conversations, I guess I'll speak for myself, not say we, but trusted the people having the conversations.
Correct.
You either knew what you were talking about, or if you didn't know what you were talking about, we believed that you had some level of
experience or
rationale, something like that, you know?
Well, you're right.
But that at least for me, I don't see that anymore. So now, because of that, and I think a lot of people feel that way, it's now become open season for interpretation.
I agree with that. I also think that people have lost touch with what the average person is.
Yes, I agree with that.
I don't think people can honestly identify the average person anymore.
Yes.
And we're talking to everybody who's like...
who thinks they're average.
Yeah, but you don't actually represent... And I guess that's always been my problem. And maybe that's something I need to work on egotistically, that I think that I understand what the average person is. I may be wrong in even thinking that. But I just feel like when I hear the conversation, I see Karen and Joe waving their flags over there talking about America and Christianity and guns and stuff like that stereotype. And then I see Lizzie with the purple hair, and she says she's them or they. Like, I don't care for nothing that either one of y'all have to say. Mm-hmm. But that's who I'm listening to talk. Like, that's why I guess a common thing I've heard, a common theme I've heard is, why are these old white men telling us what to do with our bodies? And then, like...
old white men passed Roe v. Wade initially.
Okay, correct. They also passed a lot of other shit, too. You know what I'm saying? It's a dumb thing to say, but, exactly, at the same time, it's also relatable. Because what do these niggas know or have in common with anybody? I just don't trust politicians.
But that's why I should go back to the states, because now you get people who are supposed to represent you, representing you. I mean, and Doc's concern, and I understand this concern, but it is what it is, and that sometimes might get people who are a little bit extreme. Like I think Arizona is one of the people Doc alluded to, which was they flat out banned it.
See now, okay, now when we talking about banning it now, I think my position is,
or made it illegal, whatever. Yeah.
I do not like the government funding abortion.
But I also don't think the government should.
But okay, boom. I do not think that's the list of the states.
Okay.
Possible bans or whatever. I do not think I do not think the government should fund abortions. I don't think they should also stand in the way. I think that's what my problem is. I don't like the government. Period. So
But
like state, federal, whatever it is.
I understand what you're saying. I'm torn between that. The reason I'm torn between that is because obviously how I believe, I don't like the government involvement. Period.
At all.
So that makes sense to me. That does. But the reason I'm torn is because also the government not necessarily has a right, but has a duty based off the Constitution to protect life,
put it like
right?
this. Okay.
And if that's a life, then that baby, that pre-life, whatever, that potential life, has rights in America, and that's where.
But but honestly speaking, we don't care about that. Like the average, the people arguing don't care about that.
Agreed.
And then on top of that, I'll put it like this.
I'm just getting technical.
I know you're good. 9 out of 10 of these old politician men, fuck the race, old politician men who decided whatever it is or whatever, right? That this is immoral. How many of our politicians do you think solicit prostitution?
Oh, we've talked about it before, and some of politicians getting caught
So
in a ring.
So who's the guy? Kerry Taylor. His wife had cancer. He ran for president. He was a Democrat. His wife had cancer, and he cheated on her while she had cancer. With, like, you can't make it up. So it's like morality.
But I think that's why I go back to the issue I stated, which is about this distrust of people having these conversations. How many of you actually trust your politician right now? How many of you believe in government right now? The people running the government right now.
You know what's funny? It depends on what's going on that's popular.
We need a clean house, and that's what's popular, because they just want to get reelected to go with what's popular. And right now, what's popular is so torn because we're pretty divided. How the extent of that divisiveness, I don't know. But we're pretty divided. That's why it should go back to the states, because we need to reorient ourselves. We have people in positions of, I don't want to say power, because that sounds just overly used, but people in conversation with each other who shouldn't be in this conversation.
I agree.
So we need to have a reset. Get the right people who represent you in this conversation. Then how I see it, let's restart this. We got to check ourselves. Pause. With the direction we're going right now, it's not looking good based off the X, Y, and Z. X, Y, and Z looking good. Let's get some new people in here. Why is this going bad? Here's my solution. Here's my solution. New blood. We got too many old people telling us what to do. Y'all had your shot. If that's fucked up to say, that's fucked up to say, but we need fresh blood.
To that point, though, if we're going to clean house, we're going to clean house. Clean the whole house. Don't just say the government spending money on Planned Parenthood, which I don't agree with.
Both sides are trying to do that, though. Like you have the Democrats trying to put in their people, and then the Republicans trying to put in their people, because I think both have the exact same mentality, where it's just like, you know what, we need to get these Dems out, and we need to clean house, and then the Dems think are doing the exact same thing, but with the other group of people.
They're the same people. Trump and Hillary Clinton was at the same.
Exactly.
Man.
Trump was a clean house. Biden was a clean house. Those people both literally ran on those platforms, and they won the elections. And so I genuinely think that's just kind of the motion of politics. But one of these things that I've been thinking about too is genuinely I do believe in the separation of church and state. And so to John's point, I do kind of wonder with the abortion stuff. I'm okay with it, because of the technicality that it was an overstate of the actual, federal court.
Correct.
But I'm not lost to the concept of whether or not it was driven by religious, belief. And so to me, that's an issue. And I do think it's going to cause even more federal interaction, because if you have states attacking each other for trying to hold people within their states or their own citizens accountable to this maybe religiously led beliefs that influenced laws, now the federal government has to come in and be like, fuck, okay, now we need to break you all up, and we need to make a new law that says you can't hold people in Kentucky accountable if they got an abortion in California and stuff like that. So I do think it's going to cause a lot of problems for legislature all across the
Now
board.
we got to check
People-
every
Might
word
be
that we've
conver- But
overstated.
it might be conversations we need to have. If Kentucky's really trying to do something like that, well, we need to let them know. Hey,
Yeah.
you can't control your people like that, because that is a level of authoritarianism. Like, if you go somewhere and do this, we're gonna put the boot on you. No, this is
But
America.
Tennessee
You can't
is
do that.
generally a useless state. Nothing good comes from that state. They should disband it and give the pieces away to the neighboring states.
Tennessee's a state you hate, right?
Oh yeah,
Okay, I was
Tennessee
about to say,
and
this-
Ohio.
He had a bad experience. Just a
One of
preface
the
to Tennessee.
worst
He had a
states
very bad
Tennessee
experience.
and Mississippi can go to. Fake
Dude,
New
I
Orleans.
really think in the coming future we'll see if we start seeing politicians lobby for maybe like a complete outlaw of abortion across the board for all 50 states. If we start seeing that, then
That's
we'll
gonna be.
know
I
everyone's full of
agree.
shit.
I agree, because I think I
bullshit.
saw someone else tweet recently. Forgot what it was. I think it was along those lines of, "We're not done. We're not stopping here. We're gonna until we ban it
Yeah,
across the
yeah,
entire
see,
country."
that's
Something like
bullshit.
that. And I was
That is
like,
not
"Whoa, that's
the
a little.
fucking-
That's a little far." Like,
That
we're
does
not.
not leave it up to the states. That
Yeah,
is-
exactly.
I am running
I-
on my religious beliefs.
I agree with you.
Completely.
Yeah, I had to pause, and be like, "Whoa, whoa,
So
whoa, that's too far, bro."
So can somebody explain to me, and we can end it here, Senator John Cornyn saying now Duplessis versus Ferguson and Brown versus the Board of Education?
I think they're talking about cases which made interracial marriage, because you couldn't have interracial marriage. I don't know if those specifically are those cases, but they might be. That's why I'm saying this. But I
know
could be
Brown
be
versus-
wrong.
I know
But
Brown
I think
versus
it's
the Board of
yeah. I think they're
Education.
talking about interracial marriages. You could now take that away, and I think they're talking about now gay marriage. They could they might go after that now because they're at risk now because of this. But in their actual opinion, they said those. I think those specific cases.
That's wild.
Those aren't going to be touched. Like, this does not affect those.
Those
So-
cases got to do with black folks.
No, I think he
The other
meant. I
thing
think
too,
he
man,
meant
are
that
they just gonna start
rhetorically.
So
Doing
for
the
you to
laws and
mention
pulling them
these
apart,
cases,
like-
and I'm hearing about gay people again about to get what? Because Brown versus the Board of Education was when they desegregated schools.
I think that that might have been there too. Okay, because they don't want to.
So what does that have to do with this? I'm asking for an
People
explanation.
Pushing them to go back and reverse other laws and stuff like that. But that's just
How is that an
scary, man.
overstate?
Like, even this one was in this
Just telling
one
how
law,
schools
like
should
Roe
run.
versus Wade's been around the entirety of my life. It's the status quo. I always thought that, like, women had that ability. So I understand why regardless whether you're pro-choice or pro-life, like, this just kind of shaked up everything for women around you. It's just, I don't actually like them going back and destroying things that had created consistency within the country. That's kind of an issue.
I can agree with
But
that.
you can make the same argument for slavery then.
An extreme
What?
argument,
That's-
but yeah,
Yeah, that's-
okay.
it's-
And again, here comes the black folks being used. What
But the reason why I use it, because right now for abortions, people like it, people don't like it.
Correct.
One side thinks it's it's murder.
Immoral.
One side thinks it's a right.
They're right,
And then that's why I use the slavery, because one side thought it wasn't immoral. They're just our workers and we just house them, whatever they told themselves. And the other side is like, no, y'all are forcing people and doing inhumane things. And that's the similar outlook. One side thinks it's inhumane. One side thinks it's, I don't know what they think. Honestly,
Not that bad.
Yeah, there we go. Boom. Not that bad.
Yeah, it's like that.
That's why I understand it might be an extreme take, but I think it's very applicable. And whether or not you agree with that,
You
I
know
mean,
what's wild?
that's your opinion, because I
You
think
can
it is.
actually use slavery for an example for a lot of things that's applicable. But when other people say it, it's kind of old and tired, huh? It's kind of annoying, huh?
Well, I think it just gives credence to how effective the argument is, obviously, in this
Okay. Hey,
cancel
y'all out
victim
there,
culture.
if you got the black card, use it sometimes.
People.
Put that thing out your pocket appropriately.
We talked about this before.
Appropriately. Don't waste them. Don't waste them. But if you got it and it's time, you flash that. Sometimes you don't even have to use it. You just,
Show it. I got the card. Don't
it's
forget.
on me. You know what I'm saying? It's on me. So,
All right,
show caution.
we don't want to talk about the 40 minutes, so we actually did it again. Any last takes before we move on?
Stop using black people's problems to get other people's rights. Yeah.
Doc.
I honestly think it's just if this is the world we live in, or at least the country we live in, a lot more responsibility is being put on the individual, and I think people need to take that seriously.
That's dope. I like
I
that.
think that's a good thing, and hopefully they do more
like
about
that.
that. I agree with Doc. Yeah.
And shout out to all the babies that made it.
Shout out to all the babies that made it.
This one's,
I'm going to
this one's
Vegas,
for you.
man. Gonna get some hookers.
This one's for you.
Wild.
Go for
And then I'm gonna come back and ban abortion. Let me go do some cocaine off a prostitute's titty, and then come back and ban abortion. God damn.
What the hell? We'll go ahead and read it.
This podcast is sponsored by Angels Blinds, a local Atlanta, Georgia area small business. Their blinds help you get a new look for your living room, your bedroom, and your dining room. Well, anywhere that you can put blinds, you can put them things up. They even have custom kids blinds with their favorite abortion or superhero or pro-lifer on their their blinds. With our promo code FDT. Not for fuck them kids, but you know, fake deep thinking. Our audience gets 10% off their first, I won't say it, purchase. I was gonna say abortion. You can find them on Facebook page Angels Blinds or Instagram Angels_Blinds. I hope y'all never hear that one.
They're gonna get mad. We got It's Me over here trying to see my socks. Please show your socks and take your shoe off, please. Mashers, and tell me your shoe size. Okay.
That I? Oh, okay.
No, because the name is It's Me, and so the I is from the first letter, which is
Oh, so it's not Ian fucking with us.
Maybe it is. Oh, Ian. That would have been awesome.
That laugh.
Yeah, right? That would have been a monoculous laugh, like, yes, it's me.
And I got regular socks on today, so this is you.
Mine?
I mean, my Hey, what about me though? I got some under socks. This
You double
cool.
socked.
Call me master.
It's hot, bro.
Send
What are
me
you double
money.
socks for, bro? You got cold feet?
No, yeah, you know, my manicured toes. I got to make sure that they don't. Is it pedicured? I don't know,
Gotcha.
but they both done. Shout out to my girl.
All right. Do you want to talk about Ezra, or do you want to go something a little more chill? Because
Ezra on Hawaii wreaking havoc.
Well, I mean, Ezra's not chill, but it's a bit more chill than, you know,
abortions.
Way. Yeah.
I guess right. All right. Let's take us into it, Doc.
So yeah, dude, the Flash has been at it, man. He's or they are. I actually don't know how they identify it, but yeah, they've been going crazy on the state of Hawaii. Several assault allegations. I think he split open like some woman's head and he threw like a chair at her. He wild like outbursts in certain like public spaces and stuff like that. He also, if you actually look down on this one, let me bring it up on my end. Yeah, he's got accusations of abuse from certain people.
How far
Evidently, an unnamed mother and her 12-year-old child are granted an order of protection against him, claiming the actor threatened them with a gun. And currently,
oh, here you go. Boom, he's got it.
A man claims his 3 children and their mother are living in unsafe conditions on Miller's farm, even though he's in Hawaii doing whatever. But
What?
yeah, essentially, I don't know how or why, but this guy, like, after he did
he kidnap a girl too?
Did he really?
I thought I heard something like that. I just seen so much of this guy going crazy, as John said.
Is it still called? Never mind. That's a dumb question, John. Don't let it out.
Yeah, and also like the cops are like looking for him. I think
he's
Hawaii.
on the run. That's right.
Yeah, and
he's on the lam.
He's out there, man. Just I don't know if he's out at sea and then he comes back in and just.
Why does it look like? He looks like he has the head of a Wii Sports character, and they put like a really well drawn face on that character. He has like a chin in his jaw. Am I tripping? No, or does he contour his face? Probably contours his face with all those gills.
He's
definitely got makeup on, so probably.
He's like a freaking.
Yeah, he's very openly gay.
Oh, I was gonna say gay vampire, so it wouldn't be.
Gay.
It wouldn't be bad.
Gay vampire is probably like a good description. Like he constantly wears like high end like fashion and always has a very sharp like, astonishing look to him. And he wears.
You know what? I think Twilight really fucked up a whole generation. I'm gonna be honest with you.
I mean I wouldn't say Twilight specifically, but that
vampire
phase exactly. Wolf phase, that vampire wolf
wild.
phase. You got what? Twilight, Vampire Diaries, Teen Wolf. I feel like there's some more that I'm missing. True Blood.
True.
My girlfriend at the time made me watch that.
I forgot about this one. This was the one that spawned all the memes. That video on TMZ of him choking out that woman.
What? Pull that up.
Yeah.
I might have to censor this depending how gruesome that is.
Do you know when you're watching like a cartoon,
an
anime?
Really? That's on video?
But then like
he got caught. Like somebody went up to him and I think they were like saying they're a fan.
You'll put it in the Discord chat if you have it, so Ian can pull it up.
you know in an anime when like a character looks and they're like, why does he look so handsome? And then it's like an anime character, but it's like a real human face when they turn around. Like it's so handsome, like the chin and everything is all like that. It's like they drew a face on it. This guy's face is not like this, dog. I cannot get over his face.
Makeup. Yeah, he clearly it's like, I mean, he's got the little what's it called stuff on his neck. He's obviously got lipstick on. Like I'm pretty sure they did some kind of, I guess, contour as you
Choke
said maybe
slam
too.
woman.
All right.
So is he gay or does he identify as something else?
I don't know.
Because technically this might not be,
What?
it might be a woman on woman fight is what
I
I'm
get
saying.
what you're saying. Yes. Let's find out.
Get what I'm putting down.
Learn it? Did you want to fight? Is nothing to you? Whoa, bro.
Choke slam is harsh.
Learn it? Did you want to fight? Is nothing to you? Whoa, bro.
He didn't slam her,
He
but
choked
he
her
definitely went
flip-flops.
for that. He definitely went for that
Yeah.
choke. Like
First off, vampires don't wear flip flops.
Oh, this is in Iceland.
That's a violation.
so the people around. So are they friends? But that's still a weird reaction.
They're wearing-
Appeared to have a physical altercation with a woman in Iceland, and though it started out seeming
Shit.
like a joke, people at the bar took it very seriously. According to a source, the Flash star was visiting so-and-so bar in so-and-so on April 1st when this went down. Took a look. Miller seemed to pretend to be annoyed as a smiling woman just danced toward him, but then said, "Did you want to fight? Is that the deal?" The actor grabbed her by the throat and attempted to throw her down, at which point the person recording the video said, whoa, bro, stop.
They clearly have snow coats on, and he has flip flops on. He's
Is
a
he really?
troubled man. He's a troubled man.
Go back up in and just get the don't play it. Just keep it paused at the beginning to see his jacket and feet.
Whoa, bro.
Just look at his feet.
Boom.
He does
I
have
saw it.
flip-flops.
He's a menace.
I saw it.
He needed to be arrested a long time ago.
That's a pretty big
That's
jacket
wild.
too, and it's obvious snow. And
It's obvious snow. But he has flip flops on. Man, get this man out of here.
people are
son.
adapted to the winter like that, though. You'd be surprised. Like we're southerner, we're used to the heat. People
Yeah,
up
he just
north,
finished running though, man. His feet are fucking hot, dude. He ran
yeah,
all
he's
over
the
planet.
Flash. It's,
That's
yeah,
the
it's
way. That's the best way to catch pneumonia. If you're hot
Pneumonia.
and then go into the snow, hot cold. I don't know, dude. He says it says he beat children. He's choke slamming women. How old is he? 25.
He's 25.
The reported a 25-year-old mother. Had
Ah, okay.
How old is?
Yeah, how
Yeah,
old
how
is he?
old
Look
is
him
he?
up real quick. Ezra Miller bio.
Became fixated on a
He's
12-year-old.
gotta be like 29 or
Man,
something like that.
Yeah, I thought he
he's
was
29.
Beat
I guess
this
you're right.
nigga to
Nice,
death.
good shit.
Yeah,
He's 29.
Yeah.
Yeah, beat this nigga to death. If he's fixated on 12-year-olds,
Wood chipper, is that what they say? Pedophiles?
oh yeah. Wood
Wood chipper?
I
People
don't
say
get the
that.
reference, but it's probably not.
Put him
good.
in a wood chipper. Do you know what a wood chipper is?
Yeah. Oh, put the pedophile in the
Yeah.
wood chipper. Oh, I thought wood chipper is what you called pedophiles.
Oh no.
Did not want to know where the reference came from. But nah, yeah. Real slow. Legs
Dude, I saw a
first.
bunch of memes of that guy. You guys ever watch that one anime Evangelion?
Yes.
No, why would I?
You remember
Aren't there
when,
mecha in it?
Oh, that's right. No, yeah.
Fuck.
I know John hasn't seen it.
Mr. Consistent.
But you know
That's
when-
another good anime that you miss out on, bro.
good
like,
for them.
He
it's-
just won't let himself
Fuck
have
them
it.
robots.
Can't-
In the
can't
real
get
world.
lost to it. But you remember that scene when Asuka walks up to Shinji and he just starts fucking choking her?
Yes.
Doesn't sound
They,
interesting.
Brutal.
They put his face on Shinji, and she was like, "Hey, you're Ezra Miller," and he just starts fucking choking that girl. I was like, "God damn it!"
Yo, that's dark. Damn, that's dark.
Ask me if I watch a mecha anime.
That's the only way I found out that this guy was fucking running crazy. Like him and Florida man are just going crazy all over the country.
Ezra might be a Florida man.
Yeah, maybe.
Honestly, wouldn't be surprising. Well, honestly. that
Nah,
wouldn't be
he's from
surprising.
New Jersey. I saw it on the wiki and I looked up his age.
New Jersey, the toilet bowl of New York.
All right, let's move on. I'm talking about Ezra. This dude's crazy. All right, let's actually.
He beating women and children is wild. And now he's out on the lam. Oh,
We should have talked about this one instead, honestly. But no, I guess it's.
let's
fine.
get
What
it.
happened here? Let's get
Let's
into it. What
please.
happened? I don't know anything at all about this one.
This one's a little funny. I think her response is the reason why I brought this up because her response was funny, and that's why I want to pose it to you guys as a question. So,
Is this? Can I ask you a question? Does this take place in America? Is she English?
yeah, I think this is America, but I'm sure it says in there. I
I only
could be
ask because
wrong.
there are teeth. I'm being so honest.
Art teacher fired. Let students pose topless, simulate masturbation on camera. A high school teacher has been fired from her job after she let female students take topless photos for an art project. Emma Wright, 41, was working as a teacher at Huxlow Science College in
England.
Northamptonshire. I should just say England. You're right. Scoot that. That's a Northamptonshire, England. Back in 2017, when the classroom Photoshop took place, you feel good about yourself.
I called where she was from based on her teeth.
You're just like, I called
on her teeth.
This is gonna be a pose right now.
FBI, holla at me.
I'm gonna steal that.
Track them down.
But where was I? 41 working in England, 2017. According to The Sun, Wright let girls as young as 15 take partially naked pictures of themselves and other female students. In some of the photos, the pupils purportedly used bottles of alcohol.
Wait, huh? At school? I'm confused.
And their hands to cover their breast. So they used alcohol and their hands to cover their breasts. In other images, the girls allegedly made offensive gestures while smoking and wearing their school uniforms. Wow. The Sun claims that one shocking snap even saw one of the girls posing with their hand inside their underwear in a pose which simulated masturbation. Wright blasted her termination as an injustice, telling The Sun, "I am a good person. I am not the person they're making me out to be." I saw that, and that's why I wanted to bring up to y'all, like, do you, like... Anyway, let me finish this and let's get into it. She added that the teaching regulation agency, which removed her from the teaching register for 2 years, quote, have not got an understanding of art in education, unquote. And I don't really know if there's any more to read after that. Let's get into it. What do y'all think?
I need to know. Was this okay? So was this during a class, her art class? This was going on during her art class?
Yeah, I'm really confused by that.
Was she trying to?
I think it is. Because if this was outside of school, that's even more wild.
Is her argument that what they were doing is art?
She's arguing it's art, so that's why I'm assuming
that's her argument for sure.
Yes.
Okay. And she
said it right there. I mean, even right here. Quote. I think go down. Was it down here more? No, go up. I think it was. I'm sorry. She even said it. Where was it before? Have not got an understanding of art and education.
Okay, so I'm trying to understand what she thought she was educated. Like I'm actually trying to understand.
She added that the teaching regulatory agency, which removed her, so this agency removed her, and she says that the agency does not have an understanding of art. So her perspective is what she was doing with the students is art, and the agency is like, this obviously isn't art. The parents are pointing out this isn't art, and we agree. You're fired. 2 years. What is it? Banned or something like that? They said removed her.
I think that's her in the chat.
I mean, it's me, so you can play that at anything.
However they deemed the photo... Okay, go up, please. I'm sorry. I'm not trying... However they deemed the photo shoot. The investigation agency found that Wright had a good history teaching in Huxley Science because she was employed to for however they deemed the photo shoot. Okay, so
highly
it was a photo
inappropriate.
shoot. Whilst the panel was satisfied with the low risk representation, it did not find Ms. Wright have fully reflect on the safeguard implication of allowing people to take photographs of themselves and others in a state of undress. Okay, so there was a photo shoot, I guess, for the art class, and she let them get OnlyFans nasty with it.
And I guess the reason why this happened, and obviously...
And they're underage?
Yeah.
She should be arrested. Because if she was a man, that would be seen as some type of...
Sexualization.
Yeah, 100%. And we not doing genders no more, so... In fact, throw her in jail with the men.
I do agree that if it had been a man, he would have been like in jail immediately.
Like immediately? What are you talking about? Issues. Girls and covering their titties with their hands? You 15?
Even the guy right
alcohol
there.
Bottles?
How would authorities treat it if it was a male teacher? Right, the first comment.
Really?
No, right there. Just scroll down, Peterly. No, scroll down, Ian. Yeah, this guy right here on this page.
How would the authorities treat it if a male teacher had done this? Yeah, they would have.
Probably worse, but he would also got fired.
Jesus Christ.
I guess the question I want to ask you is what she's tried to defend herself as. Scroll up real quick, Ian.
A pervert?
They probably are trying to describe her as a pervert, but she says she's not a good person, and they're not. I'm not what they're describing me as. Go up a little bit more. It's up there.
She's just dumb.
Stop right there. Yeah, I am a good person. I'm not the person they are making me out to be. I'm assuming they're trying to make her out to seem like probably a pervert, which, I mean, it's kind of crazy you didn't see the inappropriateness of that.
She's either a pervert or she's extremely dumb. Like extreme to an extreme.
Yeah.
No,
she's 41.
She's not naive.
She's 41.
She's dumb. Like, I don't.
That's a question then. Okay, boom, conversation. Does naive have an age?
I don't think so, because I mean, you can go into certain situations as an adult that you've never been in. And
Naive
still act
has a situational limit.
Okay, explain, because that.
After a certain naivete, you're dumb. Like, it's just, you're dumb. Like, oh, okay, I was naive. I got fooled. He took me for, or she took me for all my money. But then we got back together because she said she really loved me. Then she did it
That's not
again.
naive. That's dumb. And that's okay. I agree with that, because my issue, like, I agree with what Doc said, but the reason I don't agree with naivety in this part is just the fact that she's 41. There's no
Yeah,
way she's no way she's a virgin.
She's dumb.
She has to have
agree.
sex or have some kind of sexual, especially in this day and age.
I also
If she's
agree
a
with you also
virgin,
to
then
the
I
extent
understand
that
the naivety.
multiple pictures. Like, if there was one picture and then she was like, "Oh, I don't know why the fuck I did that," but then like it got to like the later photos and stuff like that, and I was just like, "Oh, she."
There was
really like
liquor.
There was liquor
There was liquor
and
Well,
smoking.
and smoking in
Smoking
an art
what?
class.
Were they taking it in though? Is that what it said? I thought it said they just used it as like a prop. to
Dude,
cover
they were
it.
posing
Doc.
topless. They were definitely probably doing some kind of ingestion.
Did it matter?
Fair.
15.
Fair. Honestly, yeah.
It says a bottle. Does it? Like, I don't know, man. I feel like it kind of does, like, because you have like prop wine bottles when you're in theater class and stuff like that.
Oh, so you're saying it might have just been a bottle and not something like an actual, like.
Yeah.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
So they went to the theater.
Bottles of alcohol.
They went to
in their
the.
hand.
don't
I mean,
know
I
about
get
that.
it. Like, if it's a fucking Henny and she's fucking covering her hand and has like the other one over her tits, then yeah, like I agree.
Yo,
They
that's
literally
wild.
said that, except for the
What?
bottle of Henny. Like, they covered their breasts and their hands to cover their. Come on. Even calling it.
I don't know.
even
It says bottles
even
of
honestly
alcohol.
speaking,
Yeah,
even
but
right
I thought
in this.
like wine bottles, and I was like, well, I mean, maybe it's a prop bottle. I don't fucking know.
Dude, there's no. Let me tell you something, Doc.
When you
There's
think
no
alcohol
benefit
bottles,
to
you think
give
of wine
here.
bottles?
You don't have to give any. There's no benefit to give. Just go all the way. At this point, if she did something this dumb, it's all the way. Like, this is an extreme, is what we're seeing here. This is not a half step. You remember the other one where the guy had the black students pick cotton for class? Remember? When I say, like, in those extremes, they don't go halfway. They go all the way.
So
for her to say this is art
to say this is
actually lets you know she put her personal belief in front of the curriculum, and she valued it so much she didn't even consider that, man, this might come off as wrong. What about the parents? Explain this to the parents on an individual basis. Like, what would you do if you had to speak to every single one of those kids' parents on an individual basis about what just happened?
explain it to them. Yep.
I
all of-
do see her viewpoint with some of this stuff, but I also do agree that she did it to a group that was way too young. Because I mean, once you get to college and you start talking about art in college, like you start seeing a lot of nudes and you start seeing a lot of people do like weird stuff to try to push themselves. But
They were on Snapchat
Yeah,
pretending to masturbate.
I'm editing that reaction. That was hilarious.
is that what it meant though? Like
Her hands
by
inside their
one
underwear
snap?
in a pose which simulated masturbation.
No, but what I'm asking is that what it meant though by snap? Like I read it as like a clip of a picture. I didn't think of it as like an actual thing that was on Snapchat.
I assumed it was.
A shocking snap even saw one of the girls.
So
Does
you're-
that
the
mean
on-
Snapchat or does that mean a picture?
I
picture
assumed Snap, but
Snap as in what? Snapchat?
yeah, that's
I
what I
think
assumed.
Snapchat.
But to your point,
I think
if
it's a
it's
picture.
if they're to you guys' point, if they're citing the Sun, a British newspaper, Snap would be British for like English for
Picture.
a picture.
Okay.
Yeah, let me have a quick snap. So yeah,
Gotcha.
to your point, yeah. So even like,
But they
Then-
well,
then-
same
so wait,
doesn't
hold on,
matter
hold on,
though.
hold on,
honestly.
hold on,
Even
hold
if
on.
it is a picture or
You
Snapchat,
think-
it doesn't
you think-
matter.
you think-
Same issue.
you think how did the pictures get out? Because they were what?
They had to.
That's a
They
good
had to have
question.
been turned in as like a project or something like that. And I think that's when other.
They were
like,
printed,
people were
duh.
like, what the fuck?
Printed.
No. They accidentally engaged in child porn.
Exactly. Somebody should be in jail.
Yo.
I think that's where it got weird though.
Oh, that?
No, I mean like the whole
I'm sorry.
like once
I'm
like
sorry,
it
Doc.
got there and the person like didn't look at it and go like, oh, this is actually like a fucking project. Like at that point, everyone saw it and was like, oh, like well, this is where
So
we know.
I can only
No, no, no,
imagine
no, no,
her
no.
trying
So-
to
so my
grade this, trying
question
to
is-
analyze this
my
picture of
question
teenage.
is, one person.
Yo.
This wasn't a project. Who's Don? John? Who's this? It wasn't one project turned in. It wasn't one girl that they saw and said, "Oh, she turned in this promiscuous project." Multiple girls had the ideas. Where did they get this idea from that this is the direction that this project should go? Why did multiple girls feel comfortable to take the direction of a sexual approach on the project for the photo shoot?
That's too much to look into, though.
Yeah,
Like, we have no idea.
yeah.
Like, we have no idea what the prompt was. We have no idea.
The
if that
teacher.
group
The
was just
teacher was the
scandalous.
prompt.
Like, we have no idea what they were
We
doing.
do have an idea. It was the teacher. Have you ever
How?
gotten a project and not known the parameters of the project? What are you talking about? The teacher literally gives you an outline of what you need to do, how you need to turn it in.
do you think
You're not
she-
trying to fail a project.
Do you think she opened it up for sexuality though?
I'm
You
sure a
could
question
assume
was
that based on how
asked.
this-
I'm sure a question was asked, and the teacher said, "Well, if it's art," because the teacher didn't say I didn't do what they said I did. She said I'm not the person they said I am. She didn't dispute what was done. That's wrong. Like there's no
She's
like
trying to defend that what happened was art. And I'm not.
she's defending that.
I do agree that they probably asked her, and at some point she said, "Oh, well, it's all in the name of art," and she kind of went along with it.
Boom.
But I don't necessarily agree that it's the initial prompt for whatever the project was, because otherwise it would have been the whole fucking class.
Oh no.
contributing
I don't
stuff
think
like
that was the. I don't think she made a sexual project. That's not what I meant. Like I just to your exact words. Like somebody asked her and she said okay, and there's no part of me that says like there was no little perversion when somebody asks you that.
Yo, we're addressing this comment. We're hold on. We're gonna take a big pause to address this. What's going on here? So it's me. Who's Don, John, Eugene, and Doc? Because you are so sexy and dominant, and I love your voice, Black Master, and the orange flip flops.
Notice nobody else's race was. Nobody else's race was brought up.
You're
here.
down bad over there. Are you real? Or are you a bot? I need to know this because if you're a bot, why would someone make you? And if you're not a bot, what's going on that side of the world? Yo, that's crazy. We're doing some
Well, that's all for fake deep thinking, guys.
No, that just caught me off guard. I was like, hold on. You got a reaction out of me if that was the goal,
This is too much.
Yeah.
I don't like this.
right?
I'm not in a race play.
Yeah, I get shy.
I'm not into race.
I'm not in a race play. I can't even do my voice deep. I mean low. I'm not in a race play. Looking ass. Oh, freak nasty. Get out of our chat. Nasty.
Anything you want to add on this? You want to go to the last one? Because I honestly really do want to talk about the conversation they had on that one other podcast about money and not a good person.
Which one?
Here, let's pull it up and let's. If it's only 5-minute conversation. Yeah, TikTok. All right, so these guys had a question. It's obviously a bit of a long. It's a minute 46-second one. Evidence. Just that was interesting.
Not at all.
Well, I mean, it could be good or bad.
Not at all. I don't know what that was. Just not at all.
John felt violated.
Yeah, Black Master. God damn. Why my race gotta be part of this? Like, why? She didn't say. She didn't
I'm
say.
glad Ethan wasn't here for this. If that was Ethan, like, where was he going with that? If
Ethan would have tried to holler.
I don't know, man. Maybe that person's.
Nah,
just,
Ethan's a happily married man. Never mind. That's
black
wrong.
people.
nah, I was
That
Ethan
was
here to
just,
see all that. That would have
the cherry on top.
been. I would Ethan there to see
Black
this.
Master, it's me.
Nah, they were just a bot or just troll account. People coming here trying to mess things up. That's why I thought it was funny. Why us?
Tell me your shoe size. Is wild.
I should get OnlyFans now. I got one person. Multiply that to 2.
Hey, hold on. Yeah, unblock them and just see what their credit card look like.
See what their credit card looks like. All right, let's get into this real quick. I actually want to hear y'all's opinions on this. So we have Not For Nothing Pod. So they had a conversation about people that say, quote, money don't bring happiness. Let's start with you as a person. So let's get this going.
I have this conversation often.
It's like, and I've been keep trying to figure out, like, niggas always was like, oh, I got all this money, but I'm not happy, or I got all this money and it's still not enough, or it's still not like fulfilling. But it's just
I
like,
wondered if those people are good people, bro.
What is?
oh shit,
I want to know. No, for real. What
I be
the-
wondering if those people are good people because
You're
if you
rich
have a
as
good
fuck.
if you have a good structured if you're a good person,
Right. Yeah.
I feel like
That's a good point.
I feel like not guaranteed, but you're granted to have some type of fulfillment from people who find you to be a good person to want to be in your life. All those people like, oh, I don't have, because their marriages is not working out because they're not a good person. Their fucking kids don't like them because they're not a good person. Like, all the people don't want to work with them because they're not a good person. Like, all the things that you need, like, for to feel fulfilled outside of money, based off of being a good person, bro.
But do you not become a good person when you're trying to get that money? Like, does making that money make you not become a good person?
It depends on what you exploiting, because if you're exploiting people because of the money that you're trying to
How
get,
else can you make more money?
You ever heard the expression "money doesn't change you"? It just. Hold on.
Yeah.
They was like, basically they say, yo, money doesn't change you, bro. It just makes
your qualities that you already had type shit.
Right. It just shows you
who you really are.
Who you really are already. You know what I'm saying? Once you get that bread. So like, say you become a billionaire.
yeah,
That's not gonna change anything about you.
yeah.
But once you have that money, you have access to do certain things. You're gonna know who you actually are because you have like
Everything to your disposal.
exactly.
Yeah.
So it's now how you act with that money, like how you really wanted to act.
Exactly.
How you really
certain
wanna
people
act.
can't act how they really want to act just because they don't have the amount of money that they need to act how they want to.
The means.
That means everybody a killer. That means everybody's a murderer. That means everybody, if situationally, if you would defend yourself with a gun and you would shoot somebody with a gun, even though you haven't done it, you don't have the experience of it, you're not putting yourself in situations to do so, you're still that thing just because, the gun, nothing changed you. The gun just showed you who you really are. No, that's
Some people
dumb.
do make that argument, but
It's all dumb.
That's
It's
a dumb
all
argument.
dumb. You can be a good person and be emotionally drained and not enjoy the good. Be able to enjoy your good.
Well, that's all. They're also trying to focus on one specific category. Can you be good in one aspect and bad in another aspect?
I mean, life. Like, well, no, I don't agree with that. Like, you can have money and then still not be happy, and you can have money and be happy. But if situationally, if you know your gut's telling you what you're doing to get the money or whatever it is there's a balance. You know what I'm saying? Some people, it's all I can do is get up and wake up in the morning and go flip burgers or something like that. Like, that's all I'm willing to give. That's it. But some people are willing to give more, risk more, sacrifice more than others, and that's internally for them to be decided.
Well, the reason why I wanted to bring this up and react to this was mainly to harp more on the conversation of like what is it, fulfillment? They said.
Mm-hmm. To me, what brings fulfillment? Comfortability. It seems retarded, but
I thought you said to be retarded. So I was
No. It seems retarded, but to actually your day to day, to every of the small things you enjoy in your day, for those things for you not to have to worry about, like for example, for some people it might just be routine. Wake up in the morning, go to the gym, go to the job, come home, and I feel fulfilled. So I guess answering the question that way is even bullshit on my end. But to me, I feel fulfilled when I'm not stressing. Like, as to simplify it, I'm not worrying. Like, I've taken care of everything. You know what I'm saying? So
I think that's idealistic, if that's the right word. I don't necessarily disagree with you. That'd be nice, but I think that's idealistic because no matter what, you're always going to have some kind of stressor.
I'm not talking about extremely, but that's why I said the day to day. Like, you're not stressing.
Something that's like weighted on you.
Yeah, like situationally, things are going to pop up in your life, but you can't say because things pop up in your life you won't be fulfilled either.
It must be a bot. He just
repeated the same thing. Yeah.
Okay, that answers some questions.
But this bot knew I was black, and you had nice socks on. Is a little wild.
Okay, now they're spamming the chat.
Probably just the troll.
Yeah. he's like, I dare you.
I don't know. I just feel like you can get fulfillment from a lot more other things than what we actually pursue. But money is needed.
But that's my I guess. Well, let's get Doc before we get in. Doc, what do you think is fulfillment? Like, your idea of fulfillment. What do you think it is? Like, your ideas on it.
I mean, I've soul searched for a lot to try to figure out what it was. Like for a long time, I was all about the whole ikigai stuff and trying to get to my like where everything kind of connects to it. Like what I'm doing is entertaining and making me money, and at the same time making other people happy while making me happy.
Trifecta.
And yeah, trying to get it all to coincide. I during the pandemic though, I read this one book called Man's Search for Meaning, and it was by a psychiatrist named Dr. Frankl, Viktor Frankl, and the dude was a performing psychiatrist during the Holocaust. Like he was a Jew, he was taken into encampment, and he was forced to perform well, not forced, but he was forced to labor in the encampment, and then eventually, because he just like needed something to drive him, he had these memoirs that he needed to write. And so what he would do to add to his memoirs to make them more interesting is he would perform psychiatric help for other Jewish people that were in the camp with him. And it eventually became his motive. And he created a form of psychiatric help that is driven on meaning, but like individual meaning for a day. Because what he explained is that in that environment, it was so chaotic and so just dark that he didn't know if any decision he was going to make at any moment was going to lead to his death. And so, like, one point in the story, he talks about how, like...
What up, Ethan?
What's up, Ethan?
What's up, man? In one point in the story, he talks about how he got onto a truck and they were taking the Jewish people to meet the Americans because they were being liberated. And he said no because he had a patient that was still in the camp. And they were like, "Are you fucking crazy? Like, dude, like you're gonna stay here?" And he told him like he had a commitment. And later on, when he was actually liberated, he found out that the Germans had driven that truck like half a mile down and they had burned everybody inside it alive.
Sheesh.
And so he said that like it got to a point to where he was so, anxious, every decision felt like he was rolling the dice to see what would come. And the only thing he could decide to keep himself sane was that he needed to find something that day, something meaningful to achieve. And through that, like, he just kind of made it to the next day and to the next day and to the next day. And eventually, like, he finished his memoirs, he got out, and he published everything. And I mean, the guy had lost everything. His family, his wife had been killed, his children had been taken and gassed also and stuff like that.
Yeah, I've heard about this story.
And so, to me, that's always been something that's, like, stuck with me, where it's just like when I wake up in the morning, there are long-term plans and stuff that I want to accomplish, but I kind of try to line them up in the meaning of the day.
Yes, we are, Ethan. Yes, we are. You
And-
missed all of it. I think we got a screenshot of it in chat if you want to go check it out.
For what?
Ian took a
I can't see
screenshot.
chat.
No, Ian took a
Oh, okay.
screenshot because Ethan wasn't here, but I said, man, Ethan missed all this, and I think Ian took a screenshot of it and
Okay.
put it in Discord.
Usually
So
send it to him, yeah.
yeah, Ethan, we'll go and chat. If you put it there, if not, if you could.
But yeah, long story short, that's what I try to do to fulfill myself. I try to find a meaning for the day when I wake up, and then I try to hit it. And along the way, like, I'll stack on, like, my other goals, like, here's my gym, stuff like that. Usually it's like, call somebody, help somebody at this way, or do this thing, or just add that little bit on top of whatever my long-term goal is. And then if I make it to the next day, well, then fuck it.
I honestly I agree with that.
Yeah.
Crazy story to use though. That was intense. Applicable though, but I think mine for me it's about, I don't want to say ambition, but I guess some like a pursuit. I guess like you need something to pursue, and from that pursuit, it's gonna come with its own stressors. Like that's why I made the comment to you. Like it's gonna have some kind of stress, some type of things, achievements to overcome. It's gonna have all that kind of stuff, and from that pursuit, it's gotta be something that
That's welcome stress though, because like when you conquer it,
exactly welcome stress.
you
I think
feel
that, yeah.
you feel empowered when you conquer.
Or if not conquer, just something you can manage. Like even like just something that's like I can manage this.
True.
Not overwhelming, I guess you could say.
Mm-hmm.
And everything that embodies that. Like, I think that's something. If you're able to find that, and that leads to what Doc referenced, and I do believe in that too. Which what'd you call it, Doc? Ikigai.
Yeah, it's the Japanese philosophy to the happy life.
Yeah, Doc explained this to me, and it made sense to me. And because it's just find something you want that you're good at, right? Explain it real quick. Because something you're good at, something you can make money off of, and from that, something helps your community. Correct?
Yeah, it's like something that makes you happy, something you're good at, something that you can make money off of, and something that helps people around you and makes them happy.
And part of me sees, I guess, a crazy tie-in from the original topic we had to this, but kind of religion with that moral compass thing, because something along that lines may not be as obvious or maybe a little bit more subtle. Not that subtle, I guess. No, it's pretty subtle, actually. Dark subtle, maybe. About how to, I guess, live your life in a fulfilling way.
Yeah. No, I feel you on that.
Ikigai may be, or I'm probably butchering that, to be honest with you. It may not be a religion, but it's a lifestyle. And some religions are lifestyles.
And it's crazy because I do get what they're saying to a certain extent. Like, the more money you get, the more options you have, which leads to more paths, which leads to more stressors available. More
temptations, I would say.
Leads to more temptations. So I get what they're saying, but, like, they're not talking about a specific amount of money. Like, they're just saying money doesn't bring you happiness. And I'll tell you what, it's a good down payment. It may not bring you happiness, but it'll get the car off the lot. I swear to God.
Well, money doesn't bring happiness, but at the end of the day, money is a tool in this world.
It's needed.
It's definitely needed. It's a utility like anything else. You definitely need it.
If we could go out in the world and just do what we wanted to do and not worry about money, sure, but then you'd have no stake on this earth.
And you can't forget what money originally is. It's a form of trade. Like we went from money to trading to bartering, I guess you could say. Like to labor.
Mm-hmm.
If you didn't have money, what you're doing? Probably building something to trade or trying to find something to trade. And if you have nothing to trade, what are you doing? You're probably out in the field or somewhere out in the wilderness, probably doing something with your blood, sweat, and tears. Like that's at the end of the day, that's what it is. And because that's what it is, that's what you like. It's needed. It's utility. You have to do it. It's just, I guess the issue is to the extent of that pursuit when it becomes, I guess, abusive or.
You know what I'll say too?
Hold on, Doc's had something to say.
Go for it, Doc.
Well, the last thing I was thinking is just an idea that occurred to me where I guess if we change the phrase, to me, lots of money doesn't bring happiness, but no money does bring problems.
Correct.
Facts.
So that's something I always keep into consideration.
That's true. That's super true. All right. That's enough fake deep thinking, unless we got some last points.
It's just, it's fine, I guess.
No, if you got some, speak on it.
No, but it's just, money isn't the issue. It's the person.
person.
Either you hate or
Either you have a firm grasp on who you are and where you want your life to go, or you don't. When you don't, you use money to fill that inner void. I honestly kind of agree with that.
I agree with that because what I was going to say is that when you're, for example, to Doc's point about the guy in the internment camp, like, or the Nazi camp or whatever, if I'm living in a village and I don't know about modern technology, would I be less fulfilled hunting and gathering and taking care of my family that way than the man who is in New York in a penthouse or something taking care of his family that way? What I think it is which we always say, we're bored. Like, specialization, we things are getting more, people are living in the nuances now. People are living in the cracks. So, like, you get money, and all of a sudden, all the cracks that you used to worry about, the rent, the bills, the children, the this, the that, whatever it is that you're worrying about, isn't necessarily what you're worrying about anymore. So your mind's going to find the next problem to fix. Now, when the problem becomes internal, we all don't know if we have that same internal battle, but you have gotten comfortable enough to identify your internal battle that you're having. Some people will never reach that level of comfort, but they won't know it because they didn't get there. So to me, it's like you have time to figure out who you are now because of your money or whatever.
Point.
Do it. It's a battle that we all, to me, it's like a step process. Once you get comfortable, you have the next battle to fight mentally, internally, whatever
you're
it is.
Equipped financially to battle it. If you want to seek out therapy or if you need certain things to facilitate that, it's a lot harder, I think.
If you're poor, like if you're homeless, just looking for a roof, like I'm not going to be worried about my self-confidence.
Yeah.
Like you know what I'm saying?
Happiness.
Am I insecure about this?
I need to get out of the heat or the cold or the rain, or I need
social
food
anxiety.
The next day. Yeah.
No, I'm not worried about
Talked
that.
about it's called something, man. I can't remember what it's called, but it's like the hierarchy of needs. I think the baseline is necessities like food, water, shelter, stuff like that, and then after that it's accommodations, and then after that it's I don't remember the third one, but it's a pyramid. But after accommodations, it's all like internal.
It's all internal, my boy. I don't know. Sometimes you just call me Confucius. You know,
Confucius.
Socrates.
Yeah.
You know, Plato.
I have my money and it doesn't change anything about my life other than I have it. It pays my bills and is ultimately another tool in my belt, but it does not make me a better or worse man. I agree with that completely. It's a tool. And I do think some people out here do think the pursuit of money or having money makes them a good person, which I think is weird.
It's wild.
Hey man, that's Warren Buffett, right? He made a shit ton of money, because he thought it was fun, and then his wife showed him how to spend it on like fundraisers and stuff like that. Now he plays the game he likes to play and gives it away.
Good for him, I guess. All right, I think that's enough.
I got a Warren Buffett number.
I think enough fake deep thinking for today. Man, you wish you had Warren Buffett's number.
Don't let me talk to Warren. Oh man.
You call him Warren from his first name?
Talking
You know,
about
like
yeah, you know.
All
Put
right.
Warren on the phone.
I'll save him in my phone as Big Buff.
All right, since we're here at the beginning, Ethan, now here we got you at the end, so we'll let you know. So we're going to try to keep doing what we did with you, 2 weeks ago since we had a break last week. And we're going to have it like at the end, like a lot 15, 20-some minutes to have a conversation, either questions about the topics, questions for us, or just sit down and shoot the shit for like 15, 10 minutes at the end of every time. This ran a little bit late because we were talking about Roe v. Wade, the first part of this, and it was another 40-minute conversation. And also, as you saw too, we had a bit of a troll, and that was we had to take a pause because I don't know if you saw the screenshot in the
Accurate
chat.
troll though, which is weird. They commented on his socks.
Well, a troll doesn't have to be a bot, but if it was a bot, it was a very
for them to repeat word for word the sentences seems bottish.
well. The reason why
What if
But
it
they
was
said
Ezra Miller,
orange
man?
flip flop.
What if
what
Ezra
if
Miller just went into our fucking chat and just started shit?
Talking about
these guys talking
Change
about me, I
subject.
gotta choke them
He knew, man. He fucking knew.
virtually. Heck,
Y'all
man.
heard Amber Heard was shopping at Target. Don't believe the cap. She wants y'all to think she's broke. You think she went to Target and said she would have wore a face mask? She would have did something if she was embarrassed to be shopping at Target. She wanted y'all to see she was at Target and show her sympathy. Go get her money.
I think that's enough fake deep thinking, y'all. Make sure you follow our socials: Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, and Facebook. Also, subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. Like the video and share it. Let's get more people in here. We're also trying to involve the Discord more, as if you didn't hear what I talked to Ethan about. Get y'all in here at the end to talk to us. Let us know what y'all think and all this stuff. Get more engagement going on here. Be part of this conversation. Get some fake deep thinking going.
Hey, man.
We'll see y'all next time on Fake Deep
Leveled
Thinking,
up,
y'all.
my boy.
Trying to level up,
Welcome
exactly.
back to FDD. Just a group of friends sitting down talking about the world. Fake deep thinking, leave me alone. We kind of
Dickin'.
John,
So, guys, you're
Doc.
Yo, 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 yo. What's up? Yo, yo.
What's up, Eugene?